All right, everybody, welcome back to the Holler. TNHoller.com is where you can find us at the TN Holler on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff. We also have hollers hollering across the state thanks to your support. Appreciate it very much. Uh, Today, we're going to talk to Kieran, who is in the Knox County area, about a student walkout that they have planned for when, Kieran? When are you guys doing this?
So this is going to happen at 9:30 tomorrow. It originally was a walkout, but due to the threat of suspension from admin, we have changed it to a protest. So instead of students walking out, we have advised students to just skip class entirely and attend the protest immediately. That way that students do not get in trouble with admin and we preserve our safety within school.
Okay, so what is the message that you're trying to send with the protest?
The message that we're trying to send is that KCS students will not tolerate ICE's involvement within Knox County schools after seeing what happened by Hardin Valley and the fact that families were not alerted. Uh, just was not right. You know, whenever something distressing happens around a school, they're legally supposed to alert families and things, and they did not. And so we believe that it's just morally wrong, and we don't want ICE involved with our school at all. No schools, no, not even in Knoxville, not in Tennessee. It's just overall, we don't want ICE in here.
Do you see it as tied or linked to the protests, the student walkouts that are going on throughout the country? Is there sort of a solidarity with what you're seeing in the rest of the country?
Yeah, definitely. I, we'd like to believe that maybe we started it, but I don't think that we actually did. But that we've only reached out to a couple organizations only to sponsor us. No other person is hosting this. This is all student led. We're not getting any funding from anything. We don't receive any paychecks. I know that that's been another thing that adults on Facebook have been commenting about is that we're being paid to go out, which is honestly just a kick in the teeth. It feels like our our values and our opinions are being undermined, and we honestly just want to be respected.
That's their line every time. Tim Burchett, Representative Tim Burchett, he's probably your congressman.
Yeah.
He. That's his line. That's his way of dismissing the pain of the people who are getting involved in protesting. They just say, "Oh, they're just paid," as though this is some sort of a investment for some billionaire somewhere that they're
Yeah.
going to spend all this money to get people out there and protest. I guess probably for people like Tim, they don't know what it's like to truly believe in something. So they
Yeah.
can't, when they see other people doing it, they just assume it must be financially induced. Uh, so how big do you think this is going to be? Is this just one school? Is this multiple schools?
We've had reports of so many different schools being involved. I know that Central High School is trying to plan a walkout. South Doyle was supposed to have a walkout, and then they were threatened with 2-day suspension if anybody walked out. So they decided to cancel the South Doyle one, and that was conversed among other peers at different schools. We had a group chat where we all talked about that. Um, but I mean, it's there's so many people involved. I mean, we've had just from students alone at STEM that a link that was only shared twice, what wasn't out there that much. We had over 85 responses, and we have 75 confirmed just from that one link that was sent out. People that will be attending, and so many more from different organizations. So I would not be surprised if there's going to be well over 100 people that will be attending at World's Fair.
Have you been politically active your whole life? Like how old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm 17 years old.
17. So how
Um,
long have you been dialed into what's going on?
I've always had a sense of like political discourse my entire life. You know, I was raised in a very political family where we were taught about like, hey, this is what's going on in the world. You need to understand like what is right. Keep your morals here. Don't let bias get in the way. But when I moved to Tennessee, I remember feeling ostracized for my beliefs, so it led me falling down the leaning to the right, and I started accepting these beliefs because people were just being nice to me, and they, indoctrinated me basically. And, it took time to realize that wasn't what I truly believed, and I knew that that wasn't what I truly believed, but I seeked others' validation. So,
Mm.
I do feel out here in the South there is like this heavy weight that just sticks on you if you don't agree with the people on the right, and it's very sad. We've had numerous students threatened with violence from other students, not from adults. Um, but just seeing other students say that they're gonna, jump us because we just want to go out and walk and talk. We're not trying to disrupt the flow of traffic. We're not trying to impede on anyone's life. We're trying to just get our voices out there.
Is your sense that that reaction that they're having is influenced from the top? I mean, we just saw now this past week, uh, Representative Omar was attacked and
Yeah.
Representative Frost was attacked physically. And, it's hard not to think that people that are doing that stuff are taking their cues, from Trump himself and from people at the top. Like, do you think it's like a culture of, physical violence and fear that is causing kids to say that stuff?
Yeah, I'd say definitely there's so much just like I've seen the comments on things, and it's just they there's an overwhelming amount of, you know, young Trump supporters that just want to resort to violence with things, no reason, and it's just they believe that people should be eradicated and things like that. They believe that we're pests and things like that, and it's just sad to
Yeah.
see. I could never say that about anybody, even
Right.
no matter what their views are. I don't think anybody should be, murdered or have violence brought upon them because of these things. And I do think it is definitely influenced by Trump. You see like the scam emails that he sends to his followers, and it says crush the Dems and things like
Yeah.
that. Just, big bold letters of violence, and he wants to play, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, and it's just upsetting.
Yeah. It definitely feels like it's been heating up lately. And, that's why it's been so encouraging to see the protests in Minnesota where, I mean, it's even colder than it is here. And these people are out there putting their bodies on the line. Obviously, Alex
Yeah.
Preddy was killed. And so, I've been saying all along that, like, the place people say, what gives you hope? To me, what gives me hope is these student walkouts and what you're doing, and so I
Yeah.
appreciate that you're willing to put yourself out there. I appreciate that you're organizing this way. I know it can be hard. I live in a pretty conservative area also, and we're fairly outnumbered around here too. So I
Yeah.
just appreciate you sticking your neck out there and being willing
Yeah.
to do
Thank you.
that. I don't want to keep you on here too long. I just want to know, like, what's your general message, for other students who are thinking about potentially doing something like this, but maybe haven't had the courage to do it yet.
Um, I just like to say that, we waited too long to do this, and now multiple lives have been lost, and it shouldn't have been Alex Preddy that was the breaking point. We should have been on this day one, and instead we sat around and we sat in fear and we were complacent, and I just knew that we couldn't have that anymore. That's when it all started, you know, but it should have been long before Alex Preddy or Renee Good or anyone else that died. This has been a long time coming, and I just wish we the students have could have stood up sooner, and I encourage all my other fellow students to stand up, and I hope that they know that as the youth we have the loudest voice. We're the current generation. We're the ones learning. We're the people that they want to try and control, with certain aspects of education, especially here in the South. I know that, there's like a lot of don't feel sorry for the things of the past. And it's like, we need to understand our history and the things that we did wrong. And instead, they want to erase that.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys are inevitable, and the sooner you guys are in control of this place, the better. And so I
Yeah.
think you're what scares them most. You also have the most at stake because you got the most time to spend here. So,
Yeah.
I think that they know that, the sooner you guys come of age and can vote, and can run for office and could take over, the sooner their ideas are going to fade. So that's why they're working so hard to rig the game. That's why they're trying to
Yeah.
instill this culture of fear. And so just keep doing what you're doing, man. I really appreciate it. I'm impressed by it. I certainly did not do it when I was your age. You know, I've now gotten more involved as I've gotten older, but just be proud
Yeah.
of yourself and stand strong. And if you guys need anything, you know, let us know. We're here as the Holler and we want to
Yeah.
lift it up.
Well, I just like to let everyone know that I encourage everyone to show up to World's Fair Park. You know, this is a peaceful protest, and we need as many voices as we can get.
All right, man. Take care. Stay in touch. All right. Thanks, Kieran, for
Thank you.
coming on here.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.